And so now, here I am towards the end. So I'm going to have to kind of make some decisions. If I come back through, I need to ask myself, am I going to have enough room to do 3 more? Okay, now I really don't, so I'm now like, oh no, what am I going to do? Okay, we don't want to stop. Remember, this is our pretty side. We don't want to stop on the pretty side. We want to start on the ugly side. And so we're going to reverse our stitch. So we're going to pull our yarn to the side. This is the same hole that I just came out of. You're just going to stitch back into that hole and pull it the other way. Ta-da, I finished, or I undid my stitch. You're going to flip it over. You're going to cut, not right here. Do not cut right there. You're going to leave a little bit of room. You're going to cut that. Now, normally, if you were really sewing something, you would knot that, okay? But we're kind of keeping it simple here. And so we are going to just tape it right there, okay? And then I have my running stitch. Now, the next 2 stitches that I'm going to show you are the satin stitch and the seed stitch. Okay, so you're going to go through, I'm going to do this quickly, but just know that I'm still doing it. You're going to knot, double knot at the end, and then at the other end I'm going to thread my needle, tie my knot so that my thread stays on my needle and doesn't slide off. Okay, and so when I go to thread my needle, I want this knot on the ugly side. So that means I'm going to have to come from the bottom, okay, from underneath. I'm going to pull it through, whoop, and I want to pull it until the knot gets caught. Like I can't pull this anymore, okay? And so what I'm going to do is now this is honestly, it's almost like you're going opposite the other direction that we just went. Okay, and so you're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're going to go in. And now I need to come back up. So I'm going to go, if you look here, you can see the column right beside of this. I'm going to come down here and I'm starting at the same spot right there. And I'm going to go up, and then I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and go down. So all I'm doing here is making little lines up and down. Now when you do this stitch, this is going to take a lot more yarn than the running stitch or even the satin stitch. So that right there is the satin stitch. So all you're doing is making lines up and down all the way across. Okay? So same thing when you get finished, when you get to a good stopping point all the way across, you're going to cut it, leave yourself a little bit of room, and you are going to take that down. Okay? And then our last stitch is called the seed stitch. And so same thing, you're going to double knot the one end. On the other end, you are going to put your needle on there and tie your knot. Okay, so you're ready to do your seed stitch. So same thing, we want to come from the back. We want all our knots to be on one side. And so your seed stitch, it really is going to look like little seeds were thrown onto the ground. Okay, and now unlike these 2 stitches, there's really not an exact way to do this. You do want your stitches to be diagonal. You want them to be spaced apart, not touching, going different directions. Just like this. And then you're just going to kind of keep adding little pieces to your seed stitch. Okay, remember, you don't want them to touch. You want to try to keep them about the same size. Don't make one teeny weeny tiny and then make a huge one. Okay, so we want them to be about the same size. And then there's our seed stitch. So there's our running, satin, and seed stitch. I'm going to finish this off. And then the next thing that you are going to do is you are going to attach this to your black piece of paper, and then you are going to paint after that. Okay, so now that we have done this, we are going to pull this tape off. So remember how I told you it was just like a protective barrier? So we're going to zoom out. So you have to be kind of rough with this. Okay, now if your little pieces come off, it's not a big deal. Okay, it's not a big deal because we're going to glue it on a piece of paper, and it's going to be, we're not going to be using it. We're not going to be sewing on it anymore. Okay, so we're going to pull these. And you can see I'm being kind of rough. Okay, that's okay. And I have one here, like, do you see how that one's barely hanging on? So I would go ahead and pull that little piece. Okay, then I've got one more to go. Okay, and you can take, like, these little pieces here, I could take and trim them a little bit. I don't want to cut right at the knot. If I cut right at the knot, it's going to unravel that area. Okay, so I could take and trim those, and then we are going to attach it to a black piece of paper. And the way you're going to do that is you're going to put it on here. You need to put your name on the back of that black piece of paper. You're going to lift up each corner. You're going to put just a little dot right here on the corner, and you're going to press it down, and you are going to count to 10. And so the best thing to do is press around it. If not, you'll get glue on your finger. So you're going to count to 10. You do that for all 4 sides. And then the last thing you're going to do is you are going to use some paint to add to your designs, okay? Because really, you're probably not going to have enough time to fill this thing completely up with sewing. And so you're going to do things like dashed lines, little circles, zigzags. We're not painting people, faces, letters, numbers, the money sign, things like that. We're just doing designs and patterns. I hope you guys enjoy it.